Down Under Diaries, Diary Entry 4, Orientation Week or O Week. I started off my week with my first run, obviously, and luckily I even got my first kangaroo sighting. Unfortunately, I did not get to take a picture of said kangaroo because it ran away before I could even get my phone out of my running belt, but I'm sure that I will see other kangaroos later on down the line. Then I headed to the welcome tea with global programs, and it was nice to meet some more exchange students, and then we all headed over to the official commencement ceremony with the Vice Chancellor of ANU, Genevieve Bell. She sounds like an absolute power of nature and just a great woman. And yeah, it was interesting to hear her speak, and it was a welcome to all new students to ANU, which was also quite fun because she is new, so she was also kind of like telling us how her first couple of weeks as Vice Chancellor of ANU went. And then we had an event in our residence, which was primary school sports. It was a lot of fun. I learned some Australian primary school games like handball. That is not the same as handball as we might have played it later on in school in Europe. It's basically a schoolyard game where you've got lines on the floor and you're bouncing a bouncing ball with your hand. And then we did a fun volleyball session in the quad, and I learned that ANU has a volleyball club, and so I signed up for the ANU volleyball club's tryouts, obviously. Then I went to more O-week events on Tuesday. I attended the induction session of the academic college where I'll be having most of my classes this semester, which is the College of Asia and the Pacific, short CAP. And then on Wednesday it was market day, where a lot of uni clubs presented themselves to the incoming students. I met one of my professors who seems to be very nice, and then I went to the induction meeting for all exchange students hosted by Global Programs. It was mostly a session on life here in Australia, a crash course in Aussie slang, and also a very important and interesting info session hosted by Canberra's Reptile Zoo on reptiles in Canberra and Australia in general. I learned a lot about wildlife and what to do or what not to do. Let me know if you want a more in detail rundown of that, because I do have notes. I am a very good student and I took notes because I thought that it could be interesting, or well, not just interesting, but actually important to know later down the line. Then I took an American exchange student, Ivy, running shoe shopping for the first time, and it was great fun to see how his face transformed when he realized how different kinds of running shoes can be, and when he found one that he really liked. And then during our pod meeting, we painted the concrete wall on our floor with chalk. So there we go. First day of O week was quite intense from a sports perspective, because we started off the morning with a very fast 5k with Vemba Run. 10 out of 10 would recommend and go again. Around lunch I went for the campus tour, and I ended off the day with a double session of volleyball tryouts for a new VC. I think it went great, but I will probably also go to the tryouts of another club here in Canberra next week, because I met two very nice girls, Lana and Tiana, and they usually play at the other club, which is the ACT UC Dragons volleyball club. And let's just say, after all of that running and walking and 3.5 hours of non-stop volleyball and being on my feet, I was absolutely knackered and I almost could not make it back to my dorm. But I did make it. I just had to have a nice little sit down in my room for like a solid 15 minutes before I managed to gather the energy and go for my shower. But alas, things happen. It's okay. Yeah. Love, Nadia.